With me. Hey, good morning,
Hi,
everyone.
guys.
Good afternoon, good evening. How you doing? Thanks for coming in and joining us. Sorry, I've got a bit of a croaky voice. As you come in, please do us a massive favor, smash the like button, and also let us know where you're coming in from. So,
Yes,
yeah, Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, Dave? Besides the croaky voice.
Besides the croaky voice, I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing
Okay.
great.
Okay. So
Oh,
I have a question for you. Oh, Robin McCarthy just became a YouTube member, and I'm guessing that's
yeah.
on your channel because nobody ever joins my channel.
Yeah, thank you very much, Robin. Really appreciate that. Sorry, go ahead, Bob. You were
No,
saying?
that's okay. I have a question for you because here in
Mm,
America we have Japanese steakhouses where a
right.
guy in a tall Japanese steak chef's hat comes out and they cook the food right there at your table and flip it out and they flip things at you and they do all that. So I was curious, over there in Japan, do you have beer bellied American men sitting in lawn chairs cooking ribs on a grill right there at your table for you?
No, no, not so many, not so much.
Uh,
Um,
well, there you go. There's a great idea for a restaurant for you.
right? Um, we could call that the lawn chair restaurant or something like that. Um, so interesting point. The type of restaurant you mentioned there, that's called a teppanyaki restaurant, right?
I don't
Where
have
they're,
any
they're
idea.
they're cooking and they're throwing the food at you, and you got to catch it in your mouth, right?
Yeah, I don't know. We have one of those here in town that I have been to once because my friends drug me there. But it's to me, I think it's a little expensive. So
Yeah,
like I
and
said, I've
it's
been
not
there once.
actually, and it's not actually what they do in Japan. This is a westernization of it, right? So
Well, of
in
course.
Japan, like a teppanyaki restaurant is actually quite refined. You sit around the grill and they cook for you and stuff, but it's all very, very polite and whatever, and they put it very nicely on your plate and put it in front of you and whatever. That the throwing the food thing, that's a westernization of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
still
yeah.
think you need a big fat American and like just one of those wife beater T-shirts and a grill cooking up ribs and hot dogs and hamburgers for you. You can call it Heart
Nice.
of America restaurant or something.
Nice. Um, so just have a look at some of the people coming in. All for Jesus Carnivore. Hello from Oregon. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. Uh A1 Savage, Heart of the Valley, Oregon. Nice to
Two from
see
Oregon
you.
right in a row.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Uh Susie, how you
And
doing?
Susie's here.
Dave, Bob. I can. How you doing? Um, okay, Patricia is coming in. Rating in Indiana. Hope your voice gets better. Thank you very much, Patricia. It's I think it's just waking up voice. I think it'll go away soon. Um, Feral Grandma, how you doing?
Hey,
Good
Granny
to
Farrell,
see
how you
you.
doing today?
Okay, Stephanie's coming in. Thank you, Stephanie. Peter, how you doing? Um, and we've got Sally V coming in from, is that Tennessee?
That's Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Yes.
Yeah. How you doing, Sally? And we've got Wendy from Nova Scotia, Canada. How you doing, Wendy? Jason B, love your videos. Thank you very much, Jason. Jean Grant, hello from Green, New York. Thanks for coming in, Jean. Lillian, hello from Brazil. Oh, how you doing, Lillian? It's a very cute dog in your picture there. What kind of dog is that? It's very cute. We got Casey coming in from New Zealand. How you doing, Casey? And Josephine, how you doing, Josephine? And Mom's Three Missions from Lebanon, Tennessee. How you doing?
Coming in
And
from all around the globe.
Jeannie coming in from Brisbane. How you doing, Jeannie? Okay. Good to see you all. Thanks for coming in. So I've got a question for you, and I'd also like to turn this over to the people in the stream to answer as well. If you
Sure.
could have dinner with any kind of famous carnivore doctor or influencer on YouTube, who would it be and why?
Well, let's see here. Since I talked to Dr. Barry on occasion, I talked to Professor K on occasion. If I had to pick one, that's really, really tough. But because she's so high energy and has been doing it for so long, and all of the things that comes to it, if I had to pick one carnivore influencer, it would have to be Kelly Hogan.
Kelly Hogan, why?
Because she's so high energy. I mean, I
Oh,
just I
just
just
high
I
energy.
just get I just get the feeling that just being around her would bring you up like an extra 5 or 6 notches, because how could you not get excited around somebody that's that excited all the time?
Hmm.
What
Yeah.
about you, Dave?
Interesting. I think so I was having a think about my answer before we came on, but I've changed I think I'm going to change it a little bit based on what you said. I think I would choose Bart K. I would go out for dinner with Bart K. And I think the reason is because every time I watch one of his reaction videos, I'm always in stitches. And I have a feeling that having dinner with him, I'd be in stitches all night. I'd be laughing all night. So yeah, I think I'd choose Bart K. Yeah. So
That's
I
another good choice.
yeah. I'm interested to know what everyone else thinks in the chat. Who would you go out for dinner with if you had the choice?
Yeah.
I'd
And
love to know.
while they think about that, speaking specifically of going out to dinner,
Hmm.
having seen the way they eat and the meat that they keep in their freezers and their fridges, I could also change that to either Dr. Chafee or Dr. Baker, because they both always look like they have really big, nice steaks in their fridge. So from
Yeah.
a purely what I'm going to get to eat point, I might have to go with one of those two, because they always have great looking steaks.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Um, oh wow. Maria's coming from Saudi Arabia. How you doing, Maria? And Brenner, I'm probably mispronouncing that. How you doing? Okay. Trucking Carnivore from Modesto, California. How you doing? And Celebrena's
From
coming in from
Spain.
Spain. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Archie, Bart is funny. I can't say the rest of that online, or YouTube will
Right.
get angry with me.
Yes.
And I can, Bart K is basically an Aussie. Josephine, yep, me too, Dave. Yeah, Archie, no punches pulled. Oh, a lot of support for Bart. Um,
Yeah.
and Celebrina, I think Dr. Baker. Interesting. Okay. Carnivore Talk, Dr. Berry, because he introduced me to all of this. Oh, yeah. Nice. Celebrina, Dr. Baker. Yeah. Trucking Carnivore. Sean Baker for dinner would be a blast. Yeah. It could be really cool to meet up with. Raimundo. Hi from Spanish. Hi from the Spanish Mountain Village. Oh, can you do carnivore with signs of calcification in the arteries or aorta? Dr.
Absolutely.
Chafee. Mm. I think, look, speaking as not doctors, I think you can, just because I've seen so many doctors talking about it on YouTube and saying it's a way of getting healthier, getting better.
Yeah. Well,
There's
I will. I had a
Go ahead.
cardiology appointment. I had my annual cardiology appointment yesterday because if anybody that's watching doesn't know, I had a triple bypass surgery about 6.5 years ago.
Hmm.
And when I came out of surgery, don't ask me to explain what ejection fraction is, but it measures how well your heart's pumping, basically. And heart failure is at, if your ejection fraction is a 30, you're considered low but marginal at 40, and a normal person ranges from 55 to 70. I'm not going to go into too much detail because that's what tomorrow's video is on my channel, and I don't want to take away the thunder from that. But in answer to this question, I will say that my CAC score went down and my ejection fraction has gone up.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Okay, well, looking forward to that video. All for Jesus would go with Kerry Mann. So when you guys when you're making a suggestion, can you tell us why as well? Like, like as Bob said, Kelly Hogan, because he's really because she's really high energy. Well, Raymondo, Dr. Chafee for lunch. Okay.
I like
So
Granny Farrell's answer coming up there next too.
oh, okay. I like Professor K a lot, but if he wasn't available, I would flip a coin and sit down to dinner with Coach Stephen or Richard Smith. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I like both those guys too. They're very good.
Yeah. Richard Smith is that the Welsh guy? Keto Pro guy?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And Peter would choose Dante. Nice. Okay. And A1 Savage, Dr. Sean O'Mara for me, a top gun in the industry, Dr. Sean Baker too, Dr. Anthony Chafee too. Too many to choose from.
Yeah. I've met Dr. O'Mara. He was here in Omaha last year for the Omaha Hard to Kill Summit. So I actually got to go to the VIP dinner with him and several others. Sean
Nice.
O'Mara is another one of those good choices. I'm kind of off center here. That's better. Had to move my camera just a little bit. Now I'm right in the middle.
Aiken. I'm pronouncing this in a Japanese way. Sorry if it's Aiken. Aiken. I'd like a dinner with Dave in Japan. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that'd be good too. I mean, especially if there was a trip to Japan included. I'm definitely putting Dave down as who I want to go to dinner with.
Yeah. So Lorena, hey Raimondo, where are you located? Oh, sorry. I'm jumping in on someone's conversation there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Deb. How you doing? Okay. So I can say it's good news, Bob. That's great. And feral grammar ejection fraction is, does the heart push as much blood out on the arterial side as it should? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And John, how you doing? Thanks for coming.
Hey, John.
And Christine, thanks for coming by from New Zealand, and I should say John coming in from Florida. Nice. All right. So if you haven't responded yet, if you've got, you can go out for dinner with your, any carnivore doctor, any carnivore influencer out there. Who would you go with and why? We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I'd love to hear you. And if you have any other questions or comments related to carnivore, related to either of us, get those questions in too. I'm happy to talk about anything you want to talk about, within reason, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Peter says,
having
Rick.
duck with Charger Mopar Rick. That would be very good. Actually, if I'm going out to dinner with Rick, I want to go to his house in Miami and have him cook us an iguana.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, I think if I'm gonna catch up with Rick, I'd rather have iguana than duck. Yeah. Um, yeah, iguana would be a really interesting taste. All right, all for Jesus Carnivore. Kerry Man, because he is just a regular person who made an astonishing change for his life, his family, and all over the world. His compassion to help others is so contagious. Yeah. Yeah. Um, kind of meat eaters. Yes. This is who I was gonna say initially, Dr. Paul Mason. Yeah.
Yeah, there's another one. I mean, there's so many.
Mm.
It's impossible to say just one,
Yeah.
you know. But
Mm.
yeah, Dr. Paul Mason is another good one.
Yeah. A1 Savage, Dr. Sean O'Mara has incredible energy and passion for his work, biooptimization. Yeah. Oh, CB Genesis, 12 eggs, 400 grams of steak, and a can of salmon. Too much for weight loss on carnivore. No. If you're
Yeah,
not eating, if you're not eating carbohydrate and you're eating fatty meat and good nutritious food, and you've got weight to lose, you'll lose weight.
yeah, especially if you're keeping your. Very quickly, I apologize if you're watching and wondering why I'm looking over this way so much. My big screen is over there. My camera is over here, but I can't read the tiny little laptop screen in front of me. So I'm reading stuff. I look this way to read the big screen. I'm hoping to redesign this when I get down to Texas and all that stuff. But for now, that's what's going on. But
I thought
to get
it
back
was
to
just
this,
windy.
no, but to get back to this question, as long as you're eating the appropriate amount of fat, whether you're eating a 1-to-1 ratio or a 1.5-to-1 or a 2-to-1, as long as you're getting enough fat, it is very hard to overeat on solid carnivore foods. The biggest mistake I see people making is not eating enough, because we've been had this drilled into us for so long. Oh, don't eat that much, it's going to make you fat. That's just not true. I mean, 12 eggs and 400 grams of steak plus a can of salmon, that's not really that much. That's pretty close to, I'm not big on the grams to pound conversion, but to let you know what I have, I eat about 1.5 pounds of ground beef plus 6 to 8 eggs every day. And I don't know how many grams that is, but that's a lot of food. And I've certainly not gained weight. I haven't lost any in over a year now because I'm just kind of there, but you cannot I won't say you can't overeat on carnivore, but it's really, really hard because all of the fat is going to slam into your satiety hormones, and you're going to get to the point where you just go, I cannot eat another bite.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you're enjoying the food, then you're not eating too much.
Yeah, that's a big thing Dr. Chafee always says. If it still tastes good, keep eating. Once it starts to not taste good, you should probably stop at that point.
Yeah. So Carnivore Meat Eaters, yeah, Dr. Mason is funny and full of info. Yeah. Yeah. He's got a very engaging manner in his talks, right? It's very, very easy to listen to and quite funny. Yeah. Grant, better to be fat on carnivore formed. Hang on. I've got to reread
From
this.
too much.
From too much. Don't worry. Yeah. Stephanie, Paul Mason was my first thought because he knows so much. Yeah. I'm going to Carnival in Adelaide, so I'll get to say hi. Oh, awesome. So see you in November. That's cool. Yeah. CB Genesis. Yep. OMAD. Okay.
Yeah. OMAD. You're fine.
Okay. Celestina, hi from Ballarat, Victoria. I'm struggling with cravings for fructose. Any suggestions? My suggestion is just take one day at a time. Distance yourself as much as you can from it and just take one day at a time. And I say that because I feel personally the cravings get less if you're only focused on a day. Don't think long term, because then you don't that feeling of I'm never going to eat this, I'm never going to eat this isn't going round in your head all the time if you're just focusing on the next 24 hours or until you get to bed. How about you, Bob?
Yeah, that's very good advice, and I'm going to give you some straight up suggestions for how to combat the cravings as well. The first thing I always do when a craving rears its ugly head, regardless of what it's craving for, start with putting a pinch of salt on your tongue. That works for a lot of people. Wait 15 to 20 minutes, and if you still have a craving, distract yourself for another 20 minutes by taking a short walk, doing some light exercise, read a book, watch TV, do something for 20 minutes. Then if after both of those have failed, go ahead and eat, but not fructose. Go ahead and get yourself a pound of hamburger, or, if you keep bacon or boiled eggs or whatever it is you keep in your fridge for emergency food, go ahead and eat, but don't just snack. Go ahead and eat a full meal. And then you'll be too full to worry about trying to find some fructose. And again, just do that one day at a time. I think a lot of times, and I'm guilty of it too, on my videos, we focus a lot on being one meal a day or 2 meals a day. But if you talk with people like Rick, the Charger Mopar, he eats 3 meals a day, and he eats a lot, 3 meals a day. And if you look at him, I challenge you to find an ounce of fat anywhere on that man. He just doesn't have any. So while we're healing, we may want to be in, 1 meal or 2 meals a day, but it's not required. The most important part of the whole thing is only eating carnivore foods. And if to keep cravings at bay, you have to eat 3 times a day, eat 3 times a day. Eventually, you'll get full enough and the cravings will go back far enough that all of a sudden one day you won't be hungry for breakfast. And suddenly you'll be eating 2 meals a day. And you might go along fine like that for 3 or 4 weeks, and then all of a sudden you're hungry again at breakfast. Go ahead and eat. The most important part is eating carnivore foods. As long as you're satiated on fats and proteins, you won't have any room for fructose or any of the other silly things that people sometimes want to eat. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, that's really good advice. One thing that out of that I really relate to myself going back a few years is when you said go for a walk. I think that's really important, because one of the things that I found years ago is my cravings are often triggered by boredom. And like if I'm just sitting down at the computer, whether it was in the office or at home, and I'm kind of not urgently doing something, it's like, I could just have that snack now, or I could just have that piece of pie, or just have that muffin or whatever it is. And yeah, getting up and moving around and making your body do something is a really good way of controlling that, I found. Yeah, so great advice. So good luck, Celestina.
Yeah, and if you need any other help, feel free to email Dave or email myself. I'm happy to offer more suggestions, or watch both of our channels from top to bottom. I think Dave has, about 400 videos now, maybe 500. And I know I'm up to about 750 videos on my channel. So that'll keep you busy and keep you from eating for a while.
Right. Exactly. Grant, but K, you can't get fat on carnivore. Okay. Gene, I would pick you, Dave, because you seem so easy to talk to. Oh, thank you very much, Gene. That's very, Very kind of you. Fran Rushy. My problem most days is I don't eat enough. I'm not a good cook. I don't like ground beef. I'm not a good cook either. And if you don't like ground beef, would it, have you got an air fryer? Because an air fryer makes it easy to cook stuff, right?
Yeah,
And
or
just
with
slap
the
the
grill, and
steak in
maybe
there.
if you don't like ground beef because you're cooking it in a skillet, fire up the grill once a week and make yourself a bunch of hamburgers pre-cooked
Mm.
on the grill. They'll still taste like grilled, even if you have to throw them in the fridge and then throw them in the microwave. That's a trick I used to do with hot dogs back in the day. I would, once I had the grill fired up and cooked whatever I was going to cook, I would always have 2 or 3 packages of hot dogs that I'd throw on the grill and cook them up, and then put them in plastic baggies, Ziploc baggies, 3 or 4 or 5 of them to a baggie, and throw them in the freezer. And then when I wanted hot dogs, take them out of the freezer, throw them in the microwave, and heat them up for a few moments. But they still tasted like they came off the grill. Are they as good as straight off the grill? No, but they're a lot better than taking a hot dog and boiling it in some water. And you can try the same thing with ground beef. You know, if there's something you like, whether it be, you know, a ground beef and egg stir fry or hamburgers that are really crispy off the grill, whatever way you do like them, you can try that. And if you don't like ground beef, there's always other meats out there, you know. Pork is cheap, chicken is cheap. Are they ideal? No, but a big pile of chicken wings made Rick style, just deep fried in lard, is still way better than a box of Twinkies.
Definitely. Yeah, I can 100% agree, Bob. Not quite enough fat had me plateaued weight for months. Increasing it, I've started losing weight again. Oh, nice. Celebrina, Fran, get an air fryer and use that for cooking. Game changer. Loose ground beef is not as appetizing to me. Loose ground beef is not as appetizing to me, but in patties, you may prefer them. Oh, yeah. Okay. Stephanie, yeah, the fat thing is hard. You can forget how much you actually need, especially with lean meats. Yeah, and it's also it's just years of programming, you know, years of programming to avoid the fat, avoid the fat. So you kind of just in the habit of it, right?
Yeah. And something you might try, this is a suggestion for anybody out there that wants to try and up their fat just a little bit. You know how when you go to a really fancy restaurant and you get shrimp or lobster and they give you this little bowl of melted butter to dip the stuff in? There's nothing that says you can't take your ribeye steak and dip that in melted butter as well. Or even your hamburgers and dip those in melted butter. And you'll be surprised at how much extra fat you get. And just, you know, get yourself a little ceramic bowl that has a lid on it that you can stick it in the microwave, melt it down, and then instead of throwing it away, put the lid back on it, stick it back on the fridge, and remelt it until it's gone, and then just add another chunk of butter into it and do that. Because dipping hamburger or dipping steak or dipping pork rinds into melted butter, any of the above, let's just say melted butter is a really good condiment for carnivores.
Definitely. Christine, 500 grams, that's about a pound, 500 grams of ground beef and 4 eggs for this old lady's breakfast, 9:50 a.m. Thursday here. You're making me hungry, Christine. I haven't had my breakfast yet. It's, yeah, that's coming up. Yeah, nice. Louisa, hey, Dave, how do I know if I'm eating enough? I only eat when I'm hungry, but I don't really eat that much. If you're not hungry, you're probably eating enough. Probably.
Unless you're
What do
not
you think,
seeing
Bob?
the results that you want.
Yeah.
whether it be weight loss, weight gain, healing, whatever it is. If you're not seeing any improvements, the first thing I would suggest is try eating more before you try eating less.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Josephine, I would pick these 4 as they're close, and I'm always watching Dr. Anthony Chaffee, David DC Learning to Live, Myowen, The Carnivore Odyssey, and Limitless Lindy. Barbecue Time. Nice. Yeah, you get them all together, right? Yeah.
And not that I'm bitter, but I will point out that people in the chat have only named one of the people on screen today that they would like to have dinner with. Probably because everybody knows I only eat ground beef and eggs.
Well, that's pretty much all I eat as well. If we're going to a restaurant, I'll have a steak, but yeah. Feral Grandma, that nutter from Tasmania might be an interesting dinner companion, but a bright person wouldn't set that up without including his wife. Yeah, I was thinking the nutter from Tasmania. You're talking about Dr. Fetke, right? Yeah. Yeah, you have to invite both of them, right? And that would be such an interesting conversation. Yeah,
oh
that
yeah.
would be awesome. Belinda and Gary, that would be awesome. And Creative Flow with Joe. Hey Joe, pinches of salt work well for me. Yeah. Okay. Air fryer made of Teflon, carcinogenic garbage. Please avoid. Oh, okay.
Perhaps there are many air fryers that are not made with Teflon. Mine is not.
Really?
Mine is stainless.
Okay.
Mine has not a spot of Teflon in it anywhere. And Teflon is presumed carcinogenic. There aren't any actual laboratory experiments on humans that says it is. Now, would I use Teflon? Probably not, because it does flake off eventually and get into your food and that kind of stuff. But like I said, I don't think I would use Teflon, but I'm not convinced of anything because nutrition science is so poor. They'll say anything to get you to buy something or not buy something.
Yeah. Okay. So Labrina, I heard one of Dave's guests say that if they crave sugar, try some cheese. Yeah, I mean, cheese is a good one if you can tolerate it because it's got like, what is it, casomorphine in it?
Yeah, it's a good drug.
So yeah, it's a drug basically. Yeah.
But it is carnivore and it's not bad.
It's a carnivore drug. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always have cheese to replace a sweet craving. Yeah. Yeah. So, but it's really dangerous, right? As far as like cheese, I love cheese, but once I start, I can't stop.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's almost like sugar for me.
Yeah. I could basically eat a whole big brick of cheese and have that be my dinner. Of course, I wouldn't poo right for a week after that, but
yeah. Yeah, like there's the same as in the before times. There was no just one piece of candy for me. It was as many as I could fit in. It's the same with cheese. There's no just like one tiny square of cheese for me. It's all or nothing.
Well, yeah, it's like Pop-Tarts, Why have just one when you can have the whole box?
Right. Yeah. Well, coming out of a conversation there, kind of admit it is find what you do like. We mix it up and we try to have more than one thing on the plate. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people that do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just a lazy old guy, and I like the simplicity of ground beef and eggs.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people, they'll cook a brisket and they'll cook a pork butt and they'll cook burger patties, and then they'll have, a piece of brisket and a piece of pork butt and a couple of burger patties all on their plate together. That seems like way too much work for me.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm like, just cook it quickly and I'm good. Yeah. And the volume's important for me. Yeah. So there's volume there and it's cooked quickly. I'm happy. Yeah. So Grant, salt, carnivore candy. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be.
I eat is eat the right word for salt? I eat so much salt these days. Consume so much salt these days. Because now that I'm not on coffee, I'm drinking so much salt in my water. It's, crazy. But it's great. Yeah. And Archie's starting to appreciate good salt again. Nice. Okay, here we go. Nancy, my lab work showed my TSH was 7.4. Sorry, Bob, do you know what TSH is?
Nope, but it looks like a thyroid thing.
Okay.
So that looks like that's probably a Dr. Barry or Professor K or Dr. Chafee kind of a question, because I don't know anything about thyroid.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just be guessing at that, but yeah, best to head to Dr. Berry or Professor K or Dr. Chafee about something like that. Archie, have ground beef cooked in lard and tallow, gives it a nice flavor. Oh wow, mixing it. Nice. Okay.
Oh yeah, if I've got some, I'll throw a couple of spoonfuls of bacon grease into the pan while I'm frying up the ground beef.
Yeah. I'm getting so hungry in this conversation. Charlie, I choose to have dinner with Chris from Chris Cooking Nashville. I always wanted to try his carnivore recipes, but I'm too lazy to make any of them.
I'm with you on that one, Darth. I'm with you on that one. I wouldn't mind trying a lot of his stuff, but I'm just way too lazy. I mean, I've got a big food processor that I bought 9 months ago because I was going to start making some carnivore recipes, and I think I've used it once or twice. I bought a little chaffle maker that I've turned on once right after I got it, and a couple other little kitchen gadgets that I've purchased, turned them on once, and then said, nah. I like a skillet with a big pile of ground beef in it. That's my best cooking utensil.
Yeah. So I'm, as I mentioned, I'm along the same lines as well. It's like, people were telling me for so long, try butter in your coffee, and I didn't even get to doing that. Even that was too much hassle for me. It's just like, just one thing, make it easy, and that's it. Yeah. Okay, Christine. I cut a block of butter into cubes, bag it, and put it in the freezer. If I get a carb craving, I suck on a cube or two. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've heard other people do that. They put little slices of butter in their freezer and just eat it like a piece of candy. And then, of course, there's tons of ways to, I know Ketogenic Woman does it, Nisha has some, and many others. They have, show you how to make brown butter bites. Basically, you put butter in the skillet and you keep stirring it until basically it foams up and then turns brown, and then you pour it into little molds and you stick it in the freezer, and it's supposed to taste like caramel. But
that's another thing I want to try, but I just can't be bothered making it.
Yeah, I would love to have some brown butter bites. So if anybody out there wants to make them, drive them to Omaha, I am happy to taste them for you.
Yeah. Icon says tasty amount of salt can transform minced meat, I guess. Yes. I feel like I'm lacking something if I can't put salt on the ground beef that I'm having. It's like if it just comes out of the pan and I've got no salt, I feel like, oh no, it's just not the same. Yeah. Okay. So Gianokos. Wow, I didn't realize this is live. Hello from Florida. How you doing? Yes, we're
Hello.
live. How you doing? And Brooke's coming in from Oregon. How you doing, Brooke? Good to see you.
That's 3 that I know for sure from Oregon. Got a big crowd in Oregon today.
Yeah. Okay. Celestina, thank you both so much. No worries. How you doing, Jay? Good to see
Jay.
you. Okay. Oh, Christine's just trying to make me hungry again. Ground beef, grated cheese, and some hickory smoked Redmond salt made into burgers and cooked in the air fryer. That sounds really good.
Yeah. If you haven't tried the hickory smoked Redmond salt, that is really good. I like their flavors. I bought a bunch of them when Redmond's was here at the Omaha Hard to Kill Summit last summer, but alas, they're all gone, and I'm too lazy to order more of them. I have my big bags of the Redmond salt, and that's what I use. I would love to have some more of the stuff, and maybe one of these days I'll find the time to order some more of the flavors, but I'm pretty lazy about that kind of stuff.
I can say scrambled eggs with plenty of butter makes them creamy. Everyone's making me hungry.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Louisa, I'm seeing results. I lost 53 pounds and I'm at a good weight. Nice work, Louisa.
Good job.
Awesome. So that's Louisa that was saying that she isn't eating very much, but she's not hungry. So yeah, that's
I
awesome.
wouldn't, if you're seeing the results you want, I just wouldn't worry about it. I would just keep doing what you're doing, and then if something goes haywire later, I would start with eating a little more, but then I would jump onto Bart K's account and schedule a consultation, because of the people that do private consultations, he's probably the cheapest. If you look at how much it would cost you just to go to a doctor's office, I think an hour consultation with Professor K is like $200, which is nothing for the expertise that he has. And he'll spend an hour getting you squared away, giving you suggestions and stuff.
Yeah. So Louisa's got a question. I'm an athlete. I'm in a 6K open water swim in September. What should I eat during the race? I will be swimming for about 2.5 hours.
Depending on when you eat your meals, I would just make sure, you don't want to eat your meal right before you swim. But if you eat yourself a big meal a couple of hours before you swim, you probably shouldn't have to eat anything, because you do have fat on your body. You will have plenty of energy. You shouldn't ever run out of energy that you have to eat something while you're swimming. If you do really feel like you have to have something with you to eat, I'd just get some really good beef jerky, throw it in a baggie, and carry that with you.
Yeah. I was even going to say, like, I'm in no way, I'm not anywhere close to being an athlete or anything like that, but I have heard some people say that they perform better fasted. So that I don't know if that would be another option as well, is just to like not eat the day of the event. And as I say, on X and in a couple of videos, I have heard people say they perform better when they're fasted. So that could be an option too. Okay. Am I behind with the comments? I'm very behind with the comments.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
We got 15 minutes left. Plenty of time to catch up.
Okay, awesome. All right, so here we go. Carnivan meat eaters. Yes, love Dr. and Mrs. Fetke. Yeah. And today is day 93 carnivore. Well done. Nice work.
Well done. Keep pushing forward, one day at a time.
Yeah. The feral grandma and Bob, you'll be near Van Horn soon enough. Figure I'll meet you sooner or later.
Yep. Just another couple of months and I'll be down there.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. Stephanie Fedke would be great. He's also really funny. Yeah, I like his sense of humor. He's got that kind of dad joke sense of humor that I've got. I think I would, yeah, he's great. Oh, all for Jesus Carnivore. Do you all know about fried salmon skin? So I heard about this the other day. I spoke to a lady who eats 14 pounds of salmon a week, and the part of the salmon she likes best is the salmon skin, which I was a bit surprised about. Do you like salmon skin, Bob?
I couldn't tell you. The only salmon I get here in Nebraska is the little cans of salmon that look like cans of tuna, only it's salmon. Because I am absolutely as far from deep water as you can get. To get fresh fish in Nebraska is oppressively expensive. I mean, I could either buy a 16-ounce ribeye steak or a 4-ounce portion of salmon. It's about the same cost here in Nebraska. So if I'm going to spend that much money, I'm going to get a ribeye.
Yeah. Same. Like I'm more into a steak, but I would like the salmon skin if it's really crispy, then I could eat it. But if it's kind of still, I don't know how you say it in English. You would say funya in Japanese, like floppy. Yeah, if it's still floppy, yeah, no, not so much. Okay. And some votes for fried salmon skin. Nice. Nathan, I want to hear about the salmon skin. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Christine, another vote for salmon skin. Salmon skin is up there with pork crackling and fried up beef fat. Nice. Okay. Pop-Tarts, super yuck. That's how far behind in the comments are.
Don't be raining on Belshine's parade.
Yeah. Bellshine hasn't made an appearance for a long time. She's going to have to get out there. Yeah. Carnivore Hercules. I try to stop eating at 6 p.m. Sometimes the hunger is too much. How do either of you handle that situation? How long have you been on Carnivore Hercules? Because I would struggle to stop eating in the evening, but that was in the early days. But after the cravings are gone and whatever, I feel kind of very calm. I don't even think about food. How about you, Bob?
Well, again, yeah. Depending on where you're at in your journey, the old after 6 p.m. thing goes back to the standard American diet or standard Western diet. As a carnivore, if you're eating one meal a day, now I think I would have trouble falling asleep right after I eat my big meal. But metabolically speaking, you could, if you wanted to, set your alarm, get up at midnight, eat your one meal a day, and go back to bed. There's nothing inherently wrong with what time of day you're eating, unless it makes it harder for you to sleep. But if you're hungry, have a couple of burger patties. It's not going to, as I said earlier, the main thing to concentrate on a carnivore diet is when you're hungry, you eat, as long as you're eating carnivore foods. And if you decide it's time to eat, go ahead and eat till you're comfortably stuffed, as Dr. Berry would say, or as Dr. Chafee says, eat till it doesn't taste good anymore. Don't snack. If you're hungry enough to eat, go ahead and eat and see how it makes you feel. If you're having trouble getting over that hump, try eating more with your 5:30, 6 o'clock meal so that you don't get hungry in the evening. That's just my thoughts on it. But bottom line is, if you're hungry, eat.
Yeah. So I found a question here for you, Bob. From Carnivore Meat Eaters, if you are so lazy, how are you going to manage your land?
Very slowly, very carefully.
There's like outside of the kitchen, though, you like the kind of the work. We were talking about digging and stuff earlier. Yeah, that's okay for you?
I mean, I mean, that's the kind of stuff I'm looking forward to. I'm lazy when it comes to cooking in the kitchen and that kind of stuff. I mean, as I was telling Dave before we came on, Amazon Prime was last week, and one of the most exciting things I bought is a new shovel, because it's one of those great big tall shovels with like a 58-inch handle on it, so it's almost as tall as I am, and it's a fiberglass handle, and it has a reinforced connector thingy where it hooks into the spade blade, and it has 2 soft, cushy handholds on it. It's a great shovel, and it was really cheap because it was on Prime sale.
Nice. Okay, so Louisa, I train in the water fasted. Thank you so much. Other athletes eat gels, Gatorade, etc. I don't want to have any sugars or processed garbage. Thanks very much for your advice. Yeah, definitely don't want to have that the sugary stuff. Louisa, there's an interview on, I think, both Bart Kay's channel and Anthony Chafee's channel with I can't remember his name. There's a guy that ran 5 marathons back to back, fasted, and he could do that because he was carnivore. So that might be worth watching as well.
Yeah, and if you're worried about just, like when you have water, if you think you might get dehydrated, get yourself some good electrolytes of some sort and mix that in with your water. And other than that, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a trainer, I'm certainly no athlete, but I think some electrolyte water would probably be about the most you'd need in something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to being an athlete, Bob and I are both the backseat drivers, or what do you say in the States? Monday morning jockeys or something, or like when you're giving advice when you're not an expert.
Yeah, armchair quarterback.
Armchair quarterback. That's it. What did I say? Monday morning jockeys. How did I get that?
I don't know. But you're just some weird Japanese guy. I don't know what you're talking about half the time.
We got Julia says, didn't like Pop-Tarts even when I was eating a sad diet. I've never, as much as I joke about them, I've never had one in my life. More votes for salmon. I love salmon sashimi, but harder now without wasabi and soy sauce. Yeah. Yeah. If you haven't got that little extra bit of taste on it, it looks a bit funny, I guess, to put salt on top of your sashimi before you eat it, but maybe you could do that. Yeah. Pop-Tarts are not food. That's correct. Yeah. And TJ Riley says, if you don't want a cold hamburger patty, then you probably aren't hungry and are eating out of habit or emotion. Actually, that's a good point. Like if you are really hungry, if you're a carnivore who's really hungry, you'd be happy to sit there with cold hamburgers, right? Yeah.
Yes.
If I missed anything there. Hey, Robin, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks
Hey,
for coming
Robin.
in.
Good to see you.
Christine, used to love wine, no more, but I don't miss it. Yeah, me too. I used to love it, but don't miss it. Okay, I don't think we've.
Yeah, there was an H. pylori question back at about 5:16, but to be honest with you, I don't know anything. All I will say about that, because I don't know what H. pylori is, what I will tell you about the carnivore diet, lion diet, having beneficial effects is that carnivore slash lion diet slash any proper human diet will give you the best results, whatever the ailment is. If it can be helped by diet, then the carnivore diet is the thing that will help it. Because it's certainly not going to be loading up on seed oils and grains that helps whatever your condition is.
Really, Bob? But Neil Barnard told me that those are the good things.
Yeah. As I will say, without making any comment about someone's appearance, there is a very clever double meaning phrase that Professor K uses in one of his videos when he looks at a certain person and says, "How do you hold your head up?" Which could be referring to the things that he says, or it could be referring to the fact that it looks like just a really good strong breeze would snap his head off of his skinny little neck.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Just a comment about training, Louisa, from a former triathlete. Open water swim up to 2 miles. I suggest getting a swim partner or a towboat for rescue of swimming alone. Try to swim the 6K to learn how your body responds. Yeah, good advice.
Yeah, I'm assuming that she's competed in this thing before, and there's going to be plenty of other people around her.
Yeah. This is jumping around like nobody's business. John says, "You guys are awesome. Thanks for fun live with good info. Got to run. See you both in the next one. Cheers, John. Have a good day."
See you, John. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, and that I don't think there's any other questions. So that's about it from us today. We will be back in 2 weeks' time.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming in and sharing the fun and games, everyone. Appreciate you coming in. And yeah, it's been great. Bob?
I'm glad everybody got here today. I always love one of these lives that we do every other week with Dave. I like the chance to just sit here and chat with you guys, get to know you. And as I always say, don't forget to get out there, be 1% better today, tomorrow, every day.
Cheers, guys. See you in 2 weeks.
Click the button, Dave.
It's not going to stop again.